Hi, so I did my learning experience at the Road Home. It's specifically in Midville, and I am going to tell you a little bit about what the Road Home is. So, the Road Home is an organization that helps people deal with homelessness. They have two locations, one in Midville and one in Salt Lake. Um, they also have a couple of residences that are around Utah that also help the homeless. They have various activities to keep the shelter running that aim at different groups of people, such as children, the elderly, women, and so on. Um, they have most of their activities and like their front desk at both shelters, they're ran by the volunteers. The staff pretty much just is overwatching the volunteers, making sure that everything's running smoothly, helping the residents at the shelter, and so on. So their mission statement is they provide emergency shelter and a variety of programs to help individuals and families step out of homelessness and back into our community. So the what I've noticed about the Road Home is they are all about being united in order to make the shelter work, and they're also all about teamwork. So they all have to work as a team in order for the shelter to run smoothly and for the homeless to receive the help that they need. So meeting dynamics. When I think about meeting dynamics at the Road Home, in my specific case, it was pretty much about loving what you do and having a true passion for helping those in needs. So the dynamics that I faced did not change throughout the semester. It was always clear that I was there to help the children of the shelter. I found that as volunteers, we provide knowledge, care, and love for the residents of the shelter, and that was our main goal. So, the work that is done at the shelter, they do all types of activities throughout the year by raising funds and doing activities for the holidays. And then their purpose is to help one by one. So, helping each person as they come get out of the situation that they're in. Group needs and roles. So my particular role that I played was as a caregiver for the children of the center. So we provided them with a learning, company, love, and care. I was working with the playroom, so they set up 4 days a week for about an hour and a half. We take care of the children as if it was a daycare, and we do different activities to help the kids learn, keep them busy while their parents are running errands or if they just kind of need a mental break. So as volunteers, we are always depending on being provided the right tools and resources so we can offer the children these specific things. So here's just a little bit of like the setting that I was in. That was the playroom. We took them outside. We had different activities going on. Sometimes the parents would come in and sit with the children and help out as well. So power and leadership. I feel like power was distributed pretty equally among all the staff members of the shelter, including the volunteers. Everybody kind of was there to help, and they enforced their power depending on what their position was. Everyone had the opportunity to express their opinions and give ideas to improve the shelter. So we were always open to talk about things that we felt like needed to be improved or spoken about. The volunteers, we all displayed leadership in the activities that we were part of, but most of the power as I came along comes from government officials. They make all the last decisions at the end of the day. That's just some pictures of the volunteers, the staff, the officials. They usually run some conferences at the shelter. And so problem solving, I did see a lot of the problem solving and decision-making skills that were taken into place in the shelter. We always sat down to analyze problems that came up. We came up with possible solutions, and then we evaluated each solution and decided on one, depending on what was going on at the shelter, and make the best decision for the kids. Their culture is very open-minded and is willing to help. Everyone who's part of the shelter is so aware of the role that they play and why they're there. They have developed certain norms and rules to help the residents of the shelter the best way possible. And it's always a friendly and lovable community that is made up of the staff, volunteers, and the shelter residents. So I call it a family. You know, they have become a true family. That it doesn't matter what time of the year it is, they're always there to help. And that's pretty much what I enjoy most about being part of this service learning experience. So a lot of the only recommendations that I really have is communication between staff, volunteers, and residents could be improved. Problem-solving skills need to be worked on, and resources and tools for the better functioning of the groups and organization as a whole need to be improved. So overall, communication is a big issue whenever you're running these types of organizations. And as I reflect back on it, I feel like every organization will have to work in groups and learn how to communicate and work in teams effectively. I feel like willingness is key to make that work. But I mean, there will always be good and bad wherever you go. But this particular experience, there was more good than bad. The shelter offers great help and care for those who need it most. So regardless of some of the things that they might need to work on, the work that they're doing is great. Thank you.